This business about Goldbach levels.
In this video, I'm going to teach you how to use Goldback in order to invest in stock. So not indices, not futures or Forex like I normally show you, but stock, individual companies. And my specific example is on how to create a portfolio in order to position yourself for potential World War III. Okay. Now this strategy works for any fundamental outlook that you may have. But in this case, I'm going to use the case where defense manufacturers start making exceptional profits. Okay. So the first example I'm going to give you is Raytheon. Then I'll go through Boeing and then Spirit AeroSystems. Okay. Now I've shown you guys in the past a number of Goldback algorithms. And the one that's always easiest to explain is algorithm 2. So algorithm 2 goes rejection block to the breaker block, fair value gap, and then the logical high of algorithm 2 is the opposing order block. Now, if you are new to my channel, go have a look at my introduction to Goldback videos so you can understand exactly what the theory is when it comes to Goldback and how the algorithms work and what the various terminologies mean. But I've shown you algorithm 2 a number of times, and I've also conducted similar analysis for Tesla and Nvidia. Okay. Now, the way Goldback works is it basically defines the dealing ranges in which price will move and the path it will move through those dealing ranges. So I won't go through all the theory, but I just want to show you the outcomes of the analysis. Okay. Now, the high of your stock is important. So if you look at Raytheon, the high was $106. Now, if we look at the power of three numbers, which Goldback is based off of, we have 3, 9, 27, 81, 243, 7, 29, and so on. Okay. Now, when the price of a stock exceeds one of these Goldback numbers, you have a dealing range expansion where the high of the current dealing range becomes much higher. So when the price was trading between $0 and $81, the dealing range was between 0 and 81. As soon as we pushed past $81, the next logical high of the dealing range was $243. So that's what we're going to base our analysis on. Okay. Now I have created my own Goldback fib. Okay, which I'll show you now. And you can pause the video to have a look at my settings. Okay, so I call it the IPDA fib. So this is my fib based off of the Goldback numbers. Okay, let me just reverse this. Okay, and you do not need the extensions. So 0 is the low of the dealing range. 1 is the high. 50 is equilibrium. And then between 0 and 3, you have the rejection block, order block, fair value gap, liquidity void, breaker block, mitigation block, which I have not shown, 47. Then you have equilibrium and then it reverses. Okay. So what are we concerned with? Which dealing range is Raytheon in right now? Okay, Raytheon is between the low, which was 0. Now the high is 97. Okay, so it went past 81. So the logical high of the dealing range is $243. 243. There we go. Okay, so this is the dealing range price is now playing between. So the logical high of Raytheon for this dealing range is $243. Okay, but we want to buy at a good price. We want to buy at fair value. So we know that price likes to go from the rejection block to the breaker block, dips to fair value, which is where we want to buy, and then it terminates at the opposite order block. So if I draw this out for you guys, or label this out for you guys, this would be the rejection block. Okay, this is a rejection block. Goldback partition. This is the order block. There's the fair value gap partition. This is where we want to buy. Now, unfortunately, the highest time frame I can put in is a year. I believe this may be running on the 4-year. Okay, but it's good enough for our purposes. So if you see here, see these consecutive up close candles. Okay, these are all one fair value gap. If I went to a higher time frame, you'd see that this is one big candle from here to here. So this is your fair value gap. Okay, and your fair value gap lies in your fair value gap Goldback partition. So the price that you could have bought for would have been anywhere in this fair value gap zone. Okay, this is why sometimes when you're trying to trade using ICT principles, but it misses the fair value gap and takes off and it comes close, this is why. Okay, so the logical price to have bought Raytheon would have been $41. Now, this happened in Jan 2020, so we've missed Raytheon. So there's no opportunity here for me in Raytheon, but it does demonstrate how price plays out. Okay, so that's Raytheon. Let's have a look at Boeing. Now, there's a lot of FUD with Boeing, but that's entirely fine, right? Why do we have prices dumping? It allows people to buy when price is at fair value. Okay, so let's see if there's an opportunity for Boeing. So Boeing is another defense contractor. They make about 50% from commercial and 50% from defense. So run it through with me. Okay, the high was $446, and let's have a look at these Goldback numbers, because I gave you numbers from 243 to 729. Okay, so once we passed $243, the next high was $729. So let's draw out our Goldback dealing range again. Okay, the low would be 0 for this dealing range. The logical high of the dealing range is $729. Okay, what do we have again? We have rejection block, order block, this is your fair value partition. Okay. Now, none of this video is financial advice. This is purely for educational and entertainment purposes. You should consult a qualified financial advisor if you are looking to make any investments. Okay, so we had our fair value gap in the fair value gap partition. And price dipped into it twice, 2020 and 2022. Now, what happened in 2022? Okay, we had the war or the special operations happening between Russia and the Ukraine. Okay, so if I were to purchase Boeing, I would put a limit order right here. Okay, depends where you can decide where you put your stop. Maybe you want to do this, not financial advice. Okay, and then where would you take it off? This is the high, this is the rejection block, this is the opposite order block, the opposing order block. Okay, you could take it off here. Okay, not financial advice, but if I were to have an inkling to buy Boeing, I would buy it at $123.90. Okay, I'm not buying it here. Okay, would it be nice to buy it there, but this is the price I would buy it at. It just takes a wick. It just takes a wick to get into this kind of trade. Let's see how we got into the trade last time. Look at that, gap, 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 wicked in, took off, wicked again. Okay, it just takes a wick. Okay. Now another company that I am looking at is Spirit. So Spirit AeroSystems is another defense contractor. Okay. So you know the routine now. These are the Goldback numbers. Okay, the high was $105. So the range that we are playing in, so we went past $81. The range is from 0 to 243. $243. Let's go up time frames. And then we have, again, rejection block, order block, fair value gap. Now, this is not financial advice. However, this could be an interesting trade. Okay, maybe you want to buy here, not financial advice. Oh, let's just fix that, 0. Okay, so maybe you can either buy at the spot price, or you can wait for a breakout, so a buy stop. So as soon as we go through here, break this level, maybe you want to buy. And then the logical conclusion would be the opposing order blocks. And not financial advice. This is purely for entertainment purposes only. Okay, but this is something that could happen. Okay, now you can, depends on where you want to put your stop. Lots of places to put your stop. Okay. If you would like to learn more about Goldback, there are plenty of videos on my channel. If you would like to learn my time and price golden bullet trading strategy for Forex and index futures, then there's a link to my Discord mentorship group in the description below.